Rock 95, a little Seether and Truth. It is Spence, just about 10 o'clock here on a Tuesday morning. And I'm with, and hopefully I get the name right here, Peter Argyropoulos.
Argyropoulos, pretty close. If you were in Greece, it would have been Argyropoulos, though. So you got it. You pass.
Pleasure to talk with you, Peter. How are you from Los Angeles?
I'm good, man. How about you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, great to talk with you here. Heading into the 4th of July weekend, and I know you're busy, so it's a pleasure to talk with you. But you guys got to be really excited. Of course, you are the front man for Sons of Silver and a new EP that just dropped a few days ago.
Yeah, Friday. Doomsday Noises.
Doomsday Noises.
Yes. Aptly titled, probably. We actually came up with that title quite a few months ago, before COVID-19. So
Really?
A little prophetic, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, I love the sound of the band, and this kind of seems like you started off kind of as an individual singer-songwriter. How did this kind of develop into this band that you have now?
Yeah, it just as you said, it started out as a singer-songwriter thing. I was working by myself. My wife Brina, who's the keyboardist in our band, is our engineer. I started playing some songs, on my own. Not too much fun playing live by yourself. Brought her along. Still wasn't a whole lot of fun, even though we love each other. So we called up our bassist, Adam Curry, who I was in another band with last December, one of my dearest friends. And Adam brought in Dave, our drummer. Dave brought in Kevin, our guitar player. And next thing we knew, we were playing a bunch of shows, but as a singer-songwriter band. Everyone was backing me up. After, a year or two doing that, playing 60, 80 dates a year, we found ourselves a different entity. We were, buddies hanging out all the time, talking politics, talking sports, and writing songs together. Once we started doing that, then it was a new animal, hence the name change, Sons of Silver, and the rock and roll sound.
And Sons of Silver kind of has something to do with your name, correct? That's how it translates.
Yeah, but Argyropoulos means roughly descendant of, son of silver, and it was my father or one of my brothers who recommended the name, and we kind of tested it about a little over a year ago. We were on the road in the UK, and people were asking what the band name was, and at the time it was Pete RG, RG short for Argyropoulos, and no one could ever get that. So we knew that was never a great name anyway. But we knew we were evolving into a band, so we're testing some new names, and we'd say Sons of Silver, and people like, oh, cool, I like that, and next thing we knew, name change.
Now you've got something. Yeah, cool. Well,
yeah.
Tell me about recording this EP. I know you did it a little bit of old school where you're all kind of in the same room. Is that right?
Yeah. We like to get in the same room, figure out everything at the same time. We write effectively from jams. It's not to say that we don't do stuff separately. I'll bring in ideas. Each of the guys will bring in ideas. Brina will bring in some ideas, but we really put it all together collectively. And, all these songs were done in the fall of 2019. We actually recorded about a dozen songs. We have another batch of songs that'll be coming out later this year, but they usually come together pretty quick, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, the foundation is there, a couple key lyrics, and then I'll take them on my own and sort of finish them off. But it usually happens pretty fast, and we start with nothing,
Well, you have such a terrific voice for rock and roll. Kind of reminds me of like a Mike Ness from Social D a little bit.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's a good analogy like that. Yeah, because it's low, it's a little gritty, but not too much like maybe like Leonard Cohen in his later days or something like that. So yeah, I dig that. I'll take that any day.
Well, tell me about some of the tracks on here. I think there's 5 tracks on here and they're all really cool. And we'll get to the song and we'll play the song "Read 'Em Rewrites" in just a minute. But there's some ones that I really, really think are really cool as well. Like "Outbreak," I think is just a fantastic tune.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that one. That one we almost didn't put out because the title name, and the lyrics were written for this song in October of 2019, so a few months before COVID-19 broke out. So we were thinking, oh, this is cool. It's kind of an edgy thing here, and then all of a sudden this stuff happens. It's like, oh, I don't know. This may be misinterpreted that we're capitalizing on all this, blah blah blah. But But I think it was Adam who said it best. He's like, "Yeah, rock and roll needs a little, it needs a little break into the rules right now. Everyone's playing it a little safe, so we put it out, and folks like yourself seem to be digging it." So,
Yeah, I was listening to most of that album. I think it was yesterday on Apple Music. I'm like, yeah, this one's really cool. They're all really good. I like the kind of mixture and the kind of the balance that you have because they're all a little bit different too.
right on. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, cool stuff. Well, tell me about this single. We're gonna play it here in just a second here.
Yeah.
Read 'em right.
Reading Your Rights was one of those songs, as I was mentioning before, that started out with us just noodling around, jamming in the studio. I started playing a bit of what the final riff, is, and Dave, our drummer, just started just hammering along this sort of old school, pounding beat. We all jumped in, and we had the song pretty quick. The only thing we really didn't have were the lyrics. I had a couple key lines like, everyone walks a big walk, everyone talks a big talk. So I had an idea of where I wanted it to go, the un-American thing, but we just didn't have it. So we took the song, played a bunch of shows with the song, but incomplete lyrics. And I think it was like the second show in where I sang "Read 'em Your Rights" as a chorus, because otherwise I was mumbling. I was like, da, 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 And I remember after the song, Kevin, our guitar player, comes over to me and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "remember what you said?" I go, "Well, what?" And he goes, "Read 'em your rights." I go, "Yeah." He goes, yeah, I forgot about that." He goes, "I dig that. We should use that." I go, "Okay." So I walked off to the side of the stage, pulled out my phone, typed it in there, and there we go.
Yeah, rest in history. When you hear the song, yeah, you're right. That, especially that line, you can't help but not sing it after you've heard the song a couple of times.
Yeah, and especially with everything that's going on right now, you kind of feel like let's clean house a little bit in some form or another.
So what are the plans? I know this COVID-19 is driving all of the bands nuts, trying to get out there and play and perform. Are you starting to book shows in 2021? Anything this year, perhaps?
We're not booking anything right now, but we just we're talking to some of our promo folks, in particular with radio, yesterday, about getting on the road and maybe doing a radio station tour, possibly some associated smaller shows, maybe something outdoor. So, and that will be this year still, 2020. So it's not likely, but it is possible still. And we'd really like to do it because, we all need an out. We need personally to get out as a band, as people, but we also know that other folks need that as well. So we're hoping we can do that in a safe way, a way that everyone's comfortable. Otherwise, yeah, we're really not going to be on the road in any full force way until first half of 2021.
Yeah, there's nothing better than connecting with a band live. It's just you're both enjoying it. It's amazing.
I agree, and I think I think it could be said for anything. I mean, just being with people in general. I have friends who work in offices. They're now all teleworking and the likes, and they're like, yeah, this was cool for like a week or two, but I actually miss my friends at the office. I miss getting pissed off because someone used all the coffee and didn't refill it, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's that personal interaction is missing.
No doubt. Now you've got this EP that just came out. Anything else that you've released prior to this with Sons of Silver?
We have 2 singles that we released beginning a year ago. They're the first couple singles we put out. There was a song called "Down," which we really still really dig a lot. That'll definitely be part of a set, as well as another song called "Never Enough." We dig that song too. But aside from that, no, it's just this 5-song EP. This is our first really big splash as a band.
Yeah, I just watched that video too for "Never Enough." That's terrific too.
Oh, cool. With the acoustic one? I think that's
I think that was posted. That might have been Apple Music too that I watched that on, but really cool stuff.
Oh, right on. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, if you get anywhere close to Mankato, Minnesota on your travels, we invite you in and we can chat more and hang out, play acoustic, whatever you want to do. But pleasure to meet you, and not really in person, but kind of meet you here this morning, and appreciate your time.
Oh, likewise. Thanks for having me on. Hats off to 95. We just, we appreciate the support. Everything's been great. The love's been great. And let's, we're going to be out your way. So we're definitely going to take you up on being on the show.
You might want to avoid January. Just throwing that, unless you don't mind it 40 below.
I've been there at that time. I hear you, but right now I'll take anything
Yeah.
out of the house that I can get. You know, beggars can't be choosy, is what they say,
Right.
right?
Right on. Peter, thank you so much. Let's fire this up. Sons of Silver and read them their rights.